Hey, it's preK. And it was 20 years ago today that I think we lost our innocence. It's the anniversary of 9/11. And I can't believe how time has flown. And I started thinking about all the things we've learned. And first of all, it was an absolutely beautiful September. The sky was blue. People were happy. We just came through a gorgeous Labor Day weekend. Everything was humming along. And then it wasn't. And, I'm a career coach and leadership strategist now, but it's odd because I was literally in the process of interviewing. On the eighth interview, my last interview, I was about to become the head of marketing for a healthcare system. My dream job, helping others 3 blocks from my house, in my community. Oh, wow, this is loud. Sorry, guys. But I guess it wasn't meant to be. I was literally in the interview in the boardroom, and the admin came running in screaming on the top of her lungs, telling us that the towers were hit and the towers had fallen, that the first tower had fallen, and that they were saying it was terrorism. It wasn't an accident. And how everything just stopped. We grabbed the armchair. We looked at each other. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew what to say, how to say it. Everything seemed wrong. Every time basically stood still. And for all the time and all the effort and all the planning that went into next steps for my career, for the hospital system, for all the futures that we would impact, everything changed. And I lived up in Wayne, New Jersey, North Jersey, and right outside, basically outside New York City, less than 20 miles away. So we had people, we lived on the bus line and the train line, and people were missing. The cell phone stopped working. I went and scooped up my kids from the grammar school down the street. Stephen was in pre-K. Lenny was in early grammar school. And I went in my house and I just hugged them as tight as I could. And I cried and I cried and I cried and watched the news and watched the second tower hit, watched the second tower fall, just watched everything burn and couldn't believe that things were so out of control. And it was real. I could look out my window and see the smoke from the city. And we couldn't find my husband, although he was supposed to be in Bergen County. He wasn't supposed to be in New York that day. But just the fact that we now suddenly couldn't get in touch with folks, I knew we had friends and family in the city. I knew there were people that likely or could have very likely been there because it was downtown. It was by the World Trade Center, the hub of so much. And so everything changed. And I guess when I think about it now as a career coach, sometimes we choose change and sometimes it's chosen for us. I'd always believed in the best practices for virtual teams, and we actually published our master's thesis on that topic in spring 2001, 20 years ago, before 9/11. Because I always believed it was important to give people the freedom and the flexibility to work where they could, when they could, with fluidity. You don't need to be tethered to a desk. But when 9/11 happened, all of a sudden it became really real because our subway system went down. The trains and the buses went down. Roads were gone. Buildings were gone. Parts of the city were gone. People were gone. And so I'm sad to say that we had a real cruel, quick, sudden realization that working remotely was an important part of how our lives would look going forward. And so I pray every day for the people we lost. And I also pray with gratitude for waking up every day and realize that first responders lost their lives. Many of them passed at a younger age, had to retire early because they got ill from helping others. And now when the pandemic hit, I realized that the learning and the preparedness from 20 years ago is really what's helped me help other people through this last 18 months. My daughter's a doctor at Hopkins, and she made the comment, "Mommy, you were built for this. You're always helping people through crisis, even before they know what they need." And I guess that's true. So there's similarities, the unknown, the being taken by surprise, the feeling frustrated, the having to suddenly go from thinking we had security and job security and income security and health security to realizing it was all shaky ground. And this pandemic's been the first time we've all been on the same shaky ground, all on the same quicksand, literally all over the world. I think when 9/11 happened, it was so real because we could smell the smoke. We were missing people. We could see it burn, and we knew it was right in our neighborhood. But for people maybe farther away, it was sad, but it was a story on the news. And I think that the distancing of it maybe insulated some folks a little bit more than others. I had a cousin who was working in the Pentagon building when it was struck. These are real stories with real people. And so as we go through 18 months of the pandemic and we hit the anniversary of 9/11, let's just remember that life is short. God put us here for a reason. And if we're still here, there's a reason for that too. Please make it your time on earth here to do your best, to put your best self forward, to share the gifts you were given. There's somebody waiting. I think somebody probably needed to hear this message. I don't know who you are, but I hope it helps someone today. And know that your gifts matter. Your zone of genius matters. And it's your obligation to figure out what that is, to not get lost in the sadness and the misery to a point that you can't function, because we really need to kind of give ourselves time to cry, give ourselves time to love, give ourselves time to heal, and then give ourselves time to brush ourselves off as best we possibly can and keep moving forward one foot in front of the other. I mean, I had COVID in March. It sucked. I know. I'm not minimizing it, and it's back. And we just lost a neighbor, lost his mom the other day. Things are happening again, guys, but we need each other. We have each other. Love each other. Show up for each other. Be there. Do your best. Take a deep breath. Say a prayer. Keep going, one foot in front of the other. I know it's going to be a really tough 24 hours, a tough week, tough reminders, but know that you're still here for a reason. God has us here for a mission. Whatever that is, we're going to figure it out. I believe in you. God bless you. Have a great rest of your day, and know that you rock. Take care. Ciao for now.